This video is sponsored by War Thunder, more on them later. Here we are, over 3 years later since the release of Dying Light 2 and over 10 years later since the release of Dying Light 1. The franchise has grown quite a bit over the last few years, especially with frequent-ish updates being brought to these existing titles, but more on that later. And now we're gearing up for the release of Dying Light the Beast, slated for release in summer of 2025, which could actually be any day now. We haven't heard much about the game in recent weeks, which honestly, I kind of like, and I'll explain in a moment. So the Beast is meant to be the evolution of Dying Light gameplay of over the last 10 years of the franchise. The game is also meant to answer all of the questions that you might have had since the franchise started, while also shedding some insight into what's coming next for the future. The Beast is meant to be a smaller, standalone, and more compact experience, but one that is equally as powerful, if not more so, than the games that came before. And from everything that I've seen so far, it really does feel like Techland is taking their time to ensure that the game is done right. No rush timelines, no firm release date, just a focus on quality and making sure the final product will be as polished and complete as it needs to be. Which, like I said, I think it's great. Recently, they did post on Twitter that players and the community are finally getting their hands on the game and they're able to experience it firsthand. And this is an approach that Techland calls community first, which is something they've always done, and I have to very much respect them for doing it. They posted that the community first approach is exactly what we strive for, and to make sure Dying Light the Beast is heading in the right direction, we invited our community members to be the first to experience it during the community hands-on event, and reaffirms our belief that our time has come. Something big is coming. Stay tuned. So, kind of confirms a few things. I mean, the more obvious one is that Techland is ready to start sharing more information about the game. And the biggest thing that a lot of people have questions about is the release date. So, that could be what's coming next, possibly a new trailer, maybe even both. We'll have to wait and see. I think the interesting bit in here is the reaffirm our belief that the time has come. That tells me that after positive reactions to the play sessions, they are ready to move forward with the next steps. Again, this is something that I think Techland has always done so well. I mean, their track record kind of does speak value and holds a lot of weight here. While reactions to certain aspects of their previous games might be very critical, they've always been willing to get the community involved in hearing their thoughts and feedback as much as they could. And I mean, I'm kind of a prime example of this. I mean, before Dying Light 2 was even released, I was flown out to California, got to play the game early, share my full thoughts and opinions on everything. They gave me no guidelines aside from like story spoilers to not talk about that, but I was able to be as transparent and open as I wanted, which I really appreciated. And the same thing kind of applied to Bloody Ties when we went out there for Poland, but that event was more so to talk about the state of the game directly to their faces. So they've always really welcomed community feedback and insight. I feel like for the most part, people kind of know Techland as a developer that values community feedback. I mean, there have been various playtests for Dying Light 2, for the guns update, the tower raids, and so many more. They have always taken our feedback to heart. I mean, the game has changed from direct criticisms from myself and also what the other members of the community have raised. For example, safe houses in Dying Light 2 were a major thing that a lot of people had issues with, mainly because the safe houses in this game kind of looked all the same, where if you look at the original game, every single safe house in here had its own unique identity. They're very different from one another, not a copy and paste like it was in Dying Light 2. Well, after a few months, Techland went ahead and completely overhauled the safe houses. That's something that a lot of developers wouldn't do, but they did it here because they do value how the community perceives their game to be. In terms of new gameplay and new information, new interviews, not a lot is being shared on this front. My God, look at this idiot right here. He has no idea what he's talking about. Okay. Editing Oni here, I put on the same sweater to have some sort of continuity. I literally was sitting here in my blanket of my dog, okay? All right, look at that. But basically, since I've recorded this video, it was actually announced that Techland will be attending Summer Games Fest, which, if you don't know, it's a massive global celebration of video games that happens in Los Angeles. It's happening in June. Typically, when developers go to these conferences / events, they're going there to showcase what's new on their end. So in the case of Techland, the most likely scenario is anything related to Dying Light, The least likely scenario, I would say personally, is probably their new game that they've been pretty airtight on for the past like year or so, I would say. But I mean, just going off of that one tweet that said something big is coming, they also had something else that said it's also become a key moment that showed us how hard work has paid off and that we are ready to reveal more about the game soon. So, like I said, I'm hopeful that we'll see something at Summer Games Fest. I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. But I wanted Editing Oni to come on out here from the woodworks and give you some updated info. So back to it. And it's very good to see that they're doing somewhat the same thing with Dying Light the Beast. They're getting the community involved to share their thoughts and feedback early on, and then Techland can adjust accordingly and then move forward to what's next, aka trailer, aka talking about a release date, yada yada yada. Man, it's good to be back. My god, it's been a while, but you know what else is also good? War Thunder. This video is sponsored by War Thunder, one of the most comprehensive vehicle combat games ever made, and it's available now for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and also mobile devices. With over 2,500 different tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships, it makes for some really intense and dynamic PvP battles. War Thunder has incredible graphics, everything detailed in beautiful 4K. The sound design in here is one of a kind. It also has one of the most dynamic vehicle damage models in gaming. The X-ray system, it shows exactly what happened to you and also the enemies that you do attack. And starting today, you can play War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and also mobile devices. If you use my link down below in the description, you will get a massive free bonus pack for both new and returning PC and console players that haven't played for at least 6 months. This pack includes the exclusive vehicle decorator, Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of a premium account. All available for a limited time. And with that said, thank you so much to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. It's great to have you back. Let's get back to the video now. Now, it's no secret that Techland wants the Dying Light franchise to grow, prosper, and extend to as many players as possible. The goal for them is to make Dying Light as a franchise a household name, and the Beast is one step closer in helping them achieve that goal. But they also want the franchise to expand beyond games and move into different directions. In a recent interview, they did say that in terms of movie or TV adaptations, everything and anything is possible, and it's on the table, and when they're ready to reveal it, they will do so. I mean, I think nowadays, especially with how more successful adaptations have been on the big screen and the small screen, I think a Dying Light format could work in very well in numerous ways. For example, a Dying Light animated series or show with the animation style of something like Arcane or that Cyberpunk TV show that I'm forgetting right now. Something like that could work very well. I remember leading up to the release of Dying Light 2, they did a bunch of like animated miniseries. I want to say Corpse Husband was like the voice actor for one of them, but it's not something that they haven't done before, and I would love to see a more full fleshed out series like that. And then you have the obvious, you can do like a Dying Light TV show, something among the terms of like The Last of Us, or even a movie. I guess if they were to go down this road, the type of vibe on what they want to do with these episodes or movies is kind of up in the air. Like, would you want to make it more grounded and realistic? Do you want to lean into the more lighthearted aspects of Dying Light? Hard to say. I feel like a lot of people that are watching this are like the more die-hard fans, and they're obviously going to want something more grounded and realistic that really capitalizes on the parkour, because that shit would be so cool to see on the big screen. We got to think about how it's going to work in practice, but nonetheless, I'm definitely open to it, and so is Techland. Now, Techland has a lot going on with their plate at the moment. The games are obviously the biggest focus. They have 2 already released and 1 coming out very, very soon. Now, there is one update that I want to turn us back to because not a lot of people are talking about it, and it's been a while since we've heard anything about it. So step back to the anniversary time of Dying Light, so around January, February. There was supposed to be a graphical update that was coming for Dying Light 1 for consoles and PCs that was meant to not be like an overhaul of Dying Light 1, but just a small update to squeeze a bit more out of the game engine. So there would have been some changes like increasing the resolution of textures, improving the lighting, updating some dialogue, and overall just give Dying Light 1 a slightly better look. Just push out a little bit more to that game engine and see what they could get out of it.
Even after 10 years, we are working on a new update for the game. It still looks great, but we wanted to squeeze a little bit more out of it. free for all Dying Light owners, the 10th anniversary update will increase the visual quality and will feature a remastered soundtrack, including the new composition by Paweł Błaszczak.
The update will be available very soon, so follow us on social media to be the first to check it out when it drops.
Well, it's been a few months and we actually haven't gotten this update pushed out to us. And I want to say that maybe about like a month ago, I reached out to one of the influencer managers at Techland just asking about this. And the response that I got was, regarding your question, we all know that the community is patiently waiting for the Dying Light update. We're still hard at work on improving the visuals. We are working with 10-plus-year-old technology, so it requires care in order to do things right. One of our priorities is to make sure we avoid causing problems with this patch on older systems that some of our players use. We will share more news with the community when we're ready to talk more. So that was a month ago. I mean, there hasn't been much said about this update. I can't find anything anywhere about it. There is like people replying to them on Twitter and like almost every single one of their posts just asking like, where's the graphical update coming? And no one says anything. So I don't know when it's coming. I hope it doesn't come out in the middle of while I'm editing this, because that's going to be a whole nightmare for me. I mean, in terms of news for Dying Light, the only really major thing we have right now is that Twitter post that I talked about earlier, where something big is coming. Stay tuned. But that's mainly for the Beast. Who knows? Maybe they could do a massive update all at once for the Dying Light franchise. We get a release date for the Beast, an update about the graphical update. That would be insane and honestly be a lot of hype for the franchise, but hopefully time will tell. Summer is coming and I'm hopeful. Would love to revisit Dying Light 1. I had plans to go and do like a nice 10-year anniversary video with this new graphical update, and it's still not out. When it comes to Dying Light 2, Techland has repeatedly stated that they're not abandoning Dying Light 2. There's still going to be all the support that they promised. So that 5-year support plan that they promised years ago, it's still happening. I mean, we're 3 years in, 2 more years to go, and so far they have been true to their word. Now, when it comes to Dying Light the Beast, they haven't shared any specifics. An exact post-launch support hasn't really been discussed. They do have plans to announce what those plans will look like when it's closer to release of the Beast. Now, Timon did say that it is possible for Dying Light 2 and also Dying Light the Beast to be kind of growing in parallel to one another. So maybe that looks like having post-launch support for both titles. I don't know. I'm honestly pretty indifferent on this topic. I can see the value in both approaches. Ongoing post-launch support, it has its clear benefits: player engagement, more content, and of course, more money. But at the same time, I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority, but I just feel like there's something to be said for those one-off standalone projects that kind of just speak for themselves. I've said this before in the past, not every game needs to be live serviced or stretched out over years. Sometimes a nice self-contained experience with a clear, satisfying ending is exactly what a game needs. And when I say satisfying ending, I don't just mean like the story, it's about the entire experience. Just being able to jump into a game, enjoy a full, complete adventure from start to finish, and then walk away feeling fulfilled. There's just something refreshing about that. There's just no waiting for future updates, no content roadmaps, just a solid, well-crafted experience that respects your time and it leaves a nice, long-lasting impression. That's kind of what I'm looking for with the Beast. Ironically, while it was a DLC, I feel like Dying Light achieved that with the following. Whereas Dying Light 2, I didn't really get that impression. It just feels like it's being drawn out. Maybe it's just my outlook on things, but I think that some games are just better off leaving a lasting impact as a complete package, no strings attached. But I do digress. Now, I know I've said I've been coming back for a while. I'm sorry, I've been incredibly busy. Last video, I said I was helping out with the video content plan for Atomfall, and since then, things have been super crazy. I even helped out with Zombie Army VR. Kind of funny how things came full circle there. But one thing I do want to mention, seriously, thank you guys for absolutely everything. I mean, your support has honestly been life-changing. You and everyone in the Dying Light community, you've been there for me. I started making videos around 4 years ago, and honestly, I was quite lost in life and had no idea what the fuck I was doing. There was like a good 1 to 2 years where the only source of my happiness was making videos in my room with that man over there. Oh, and by the way, what color do you think I should paint that wall? I'm taking suggestions. And looking back at it, that 1 to 2 years where I went really hard with videos, I got some of my best lifetime memories, and that's all because of you guys. It's really led to a lot, and at that time in life, I was kind of just figuring it out, and I think I finally figured it out now. It only took me like 2 to 3 years, and life's going pretty good right now. So seriously, thank you all for being there for me. I really can't thank you enough. I know I don't post often anymore, but I'm always thinking of you guys, and I'm incredibly thankful for you. I look at my YouTube setup over here, like that green screen. That green screen is like calling to me like the Green Goblin costume from Spider-Man 2. I have been wanting to use that for a while, and I will in June. Very soon. I have 2 major videos coming that I've been working on for so long. This video is going to be up at the end of May. So soon. Also, I was saving this for the anniversary update. Like I said before, I wanted to do a big like 10-year later video for Dying Light 1 while using the graphical update, but it never really happened. And I've been sitting on this for a bit now. It's a yearly tradition at this point. I'm very thankful for the Dying Light community. Every single year, if you've been on this channel for the past 2 to 3 years, we've always done a nice little community montage alongside NoviX. So I wanted to share that with you. This is a nice way to wrap up the memories while we go and prepare for the Beast. And according to them, something big is coming. So I think this would be a nice way to set us forward to what's coming next.
Save these people.
Once again, thank you so much to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. You can download it today for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and also mobile devices by using the link down below in the description. PC and console players who haven't played War Thunder yet or are returning from a break from at least 6 months will receive a massive bonus pack, including premium vehicles, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of a premium account. Thank you so much to War Thunder for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.